going to the chat GPT and I asked it a question. What other nation in the Bible other than the Israelites that called Yahweh their God? In the Bible, no other nation. What did this thing say? And this thing ain't nothing but an algorithm, an AI, artificial intelligence, and artificial a computer algorithm that takes and compiles information. So the information is pertaining to the scriptures. So let's read it. What other nation in the Bible, other than the Israelites, that call Yahweh their God? In the Bible, no other nation besides the Israelites is ever shown consistently calling upon or claiming Yahweh as their national power, God. Here's how it breaks down. And we're going to read these before we grab at these scriptures. Yasharallah alone had the covenant with Yahweh. Deuteronomy 4 and 7. You see what it says, and we go grab that scripture and read it into a little context. But let's read it. For what nation is there so great who had Yahweh so nigh unto them? As the Lord Yahweh, our power, who? Our power, the Israelites' power, is in all things that we call upon him for. This shows Yasharallah had a unique relationship with Yahweh. And that scripture pops into my head is at Ephesians 1 and 5. And if I'm not mistaken, what is that? Galatians 4 and verse around 4, 5, 6, one around there. I might grab it. According to the Spirit, I might grab it. But it says what? This shows Yasharallah, Israel, had a unique relationship with Yahweh. Amos 3 and 2. I read that one earlier. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquity. Yahweh, your iniquities. Yahweh says he only knows Yasharallah, meaning a close covenant bond. Number 2, other nations served other gods, meaning idols. Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. In the lexicon in the Dead Sea Scrolls reading, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Yasharallah, the sons of God, which is the children of Yasharallah. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is a lot of his inheritance, which we'll read that one also. Again, each nation had its own deity, which is not a deity. They worship idols. Only Jacob, Yasharallah, was Yahweh's. Jeremiah 10 and 11. The gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish. The other nations' gods were false and would perish, meaning they were idols and they will be utterly abolished out of the earth. Number 3, Gentiles individuals acknowledged Yahweh, but not as their national power. And what it says, some non-Israelites came to realize Yahweh as powerful or supreme, but never claimed him as their God in a covenantal or national way. What it says, some non-Israelites, meaning these other nations, came to realize Yahweh as powerful and supreme. And it's going to tell you who acknowledged Yahweh as the almighty power, but never claimed him as their God, meaning that he's the God of their nation, in a covenantal or national way. It says Ruth, the Moabite. Now, she acknowledged when she chose to stay with Naomi, her deceased husband's mother. When she chose to stay around him, she chose to stay because she acknowledged that we had the true power. See? And what did Naomi tell her? Hey, go back and turn to your people, And she said, I ain't going back around them. They worshiping idols. And I'm saying, y'all got the true power. And what it says, Ruth a Moabitess, thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. She chose to join Yasharallah and accept Yahweh as her power, but only after leaving Moabite ways. See, and it says what? Naaman, the Syrian. You see the scripture right there. Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Yasharallah. What? But in Yasharallah, meaning he was saying that I acknowledge that it ain't no other God on the earth but the God of the Israelites. Acknowledge Yahweh's power. What? He acknowledged Yahweh's power. But again, not a national conversion. Nebuchadnezzar. You see the scripture right there. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven. And why did he do that? Because the Most High had his ass in sitting out in the wild, and the dew of the heavens was falling down on his ass. His hair grew all fucked up. His nails grew long as shit. You know, he had his ass looking like a damn eagle with feathers and eagle claws and shit. So with the Most High, because he was blaspheming, and the Most High showed him, motherfucker, and he acknowledged. But the point being is that he acknowledged that Yahweh is the Almighty power, but he's not the God of the other nations. See, he's only the God of the Israelites. And what it says, he honored Yahweh after being humbled. But Babylon, meaning the Babylonians, and the same to this modern day Babylonians, which is these Edomites and the rest of these heathens that's joined on to these Edomites here in Babylon the Great, aka America. Guess what? But Babylon never served Yahweh as their God. And that's the same way with these Edomites right now. They don't serve the almighty power Yahweh as their God. That's why they taught our people to worship idols. When you go back and during the time of the Greeks time, what did the Edomites do during that time? Was teaching our people to bow down and worship Serapis Christmas. When you fast forward to the Roman time, what was they doing? They had our people worshiping fucking Edomite Emperor Caesars and shit. See? But you Jakes don't get it. Yahweh power is your almighty power. Yahweh is your God, man. He's not the God of these nations. Now let's get into these scriptures and end it off. Slocky, before I get to scriptures, let's pull the rest of this up. It says summary. It says serve Yahweh as national God. It says nation. Notes. And it says what? Yasharallah, the Israelites, yes, serve Yahweh as their God. And it says what? Covenant people, beginning with Exodus 9:19 and 5 and 6. And then it says what? Moab, Ammon, Egypt, etc. Ishmael and the rest of Japheth and the rest of these damn heathens. It says no. These other nations didn't serve Yahweh as their power. They didn't acknowledge the Most High gave them over to worship idols. And it says no. Serve their own gods, which were idols. Coming down. It says what? Individual Ruth, Naaman, which I just read, they honored Yahweh, meaning they acknowledged that Yahweh is the almighty power. But what? But not national worship, meaning they people did not worship Yahweh as he is our God. You know goddamn well Nebuchadnezzar and his people didn't do it, because what was he telling Daniel? When you hear the cornet and the psaltery and and the instruments and music and stuff, when you bow down and worship my gods, the idols that I made for our gods and my people, and Daniel like, the hell, I ain't do crazy as hell. I ain't doing nothing doing that. I'm gonna worship Yahweh. See? So you clearly know that those people did not, and none of these motherfuckers to this day, Yahweh is not their power. Period. Now let's get these scriptures. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah HaKwadash. And double honor to the elders and apostles, the men of great millstone. And to the rest of the brothers on down, and teaching and preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Shalom Bayashah Dawada. And to the Akim and the Akwat that's out there repenting. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose fathers go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob Yasha Allah. Shalom to you, Mashmakah. Shalom, Labakarim, Shah Yasha Allah. This is Hakarab coming at you with another one, and we gonna get straight into it, right? But first, I want to open up with this one. Let's grab that second Esdras. We're gonna grab that second Esdras 5, right? Second Esdras 5 and 23. Let's read this first. Second Esdras 5 and verse 23. And it says, and said, let's go up. Let's start at 22. And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding. And I began to talk with the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, again. And said, O Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, that beareth rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee only one vine, and of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. Listen closely, if you haven't heard it. And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. This is showing you what the Most High have chose out of all the stuff that he made and he created and he fashioned. He's showing you what he chose out of all his creation, out of all the things that he fashioned together. And it says what? One lily. And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and all the flowers thereof one lily. And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. And of all the builded cities, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself. Verse 26. And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. Out of any animal that you think you will see, a lion, a tiger, a bear, a cheetah, a panther, a cougar, all kind of critters and everything. Guess what he said? The sheep is his. He chose the lamb. He chose the sheep as his. Out of all the birds that fly in the air, your eagles, your hawks, your damn ravens, and your red devils and blue jays, and all your birds, your pigeons, your ducks, your vulture birds, and everything. He chose what? The dove. You see that? He chose the dove. And what? Verse 27. And among all the multitude of people, everybody that you see on the earth right now today, and among all the multitude of people, thou hast gotten thee one people. I'm going to read that again, but let's read it slow. And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people. One people. And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all. What he says, and all the multitudes of people, thou has gotten him one people. You can't say, no, yeah, God he created us all. And that's what he said, he created everything. But he's telling you who is his out of what he created. You can't sit back and say because you're emotional and you want to say, no, but he created me too. He care about me. You just created. The Israelites are the apple of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua's eye, man. Why you think in Isaiah, let's grab it. Why you think in Isaiah, the 40th chapter, in verse 15, and it reads, Isaiah 40 and 15, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh of the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts there are sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations, this ain't talking about us. This ain't talking about us. Out of the 18 nations, we subtracted out of them. So out of all the other nations, guess what? All nations before him are as nothing. And they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. You see that? You see? Let's get the other one. See? You people go understand that you was created for the Israelites' uses. That's what you was created for. See? And I'm trying to hurry up because I don't want to get to the one today. The spirit going how I want to go, but I gotta get into shit. It is what it is, right? But let's grab that. Let's grab that. 2nd Ezra 6. 2nd Ezra 6 and around 55. And it reads, it ain't moving, so I got to go down to it. And it says what? Start at 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Who did he chose? We already know who. All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. You see that? And it says what? What did it say? And now, O Yahweh, these heathen, behold, what? Behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. You see? So he acknowledged, he's saying, yeah, you said that these nations, these heathens, they ain't nothing to you. So how are you going to be? He gave these people over to the. But let me see. Let me. I want to read what he did. What did he create these heathens for? They created for our uses. But we ain't. Let me just go grab it. Right. Let me read that again. 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Let's go to 7. Go down to 10. Second Ezra 7 and 10. And I said, is it so, Lord? Then he said he unto me, even so also is Yasharalah's portion. Because for their sakes I made the world. What? For their sakes. For you Israelites' sakes, the Most High created this planet, man. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. You see that? But let's go back to 6, right? Let's go back to 6 and jump down. And it says what? Start at 58. It says what? Let's light him up first. But what? But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands, meaning these heathens' hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? And what's the inheritance of the world? These heathens. How long shall this endure? When Yahweh shall, hey, we in our punishment right now. When Yahweh shall return, we're going to be out of our punishment and we're going to possess the world and the inheritance of the world, which is everything in it. The cattle, the trees, the water, the wood, everything, the people. Everything is going to belong to us. See? We've been discontinued from our heritage, which is everything in this earth and these people. So do they even acknowledge that the reason why the Most High created them? You are created for the uses of his people, the Israelites. And y'all going to find that out in the kingdom of heaven that's going to be established on the earth. See? We did the hell with all this pride shit and all this bullshit. We going to proclaim the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, whether you like what you hear or not. And what it says, let's get into these things right quick. Matter of fact, let me grab this first. Let's grab this Leviticus. I got to get it because it popped in, and I got to read it. Let's go to 44. Leviticus 25 and 44. And it reads. It says what? I'm going to just straight to the point. Leviticus 25 and 44. Both thy bondmen, meaning what? Slave men, and thy bondwoman, slave woman, and that's of the heathens, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen, slave men, and slave woman. And it says what? Moreover, of the children of strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land. And they shall be And they shall be your possession. And what? And ye shall take them as an inheritance. What? As an inheritance for your children. After you, to inherit them for a possession, they shall be your slave man forever, and slave woman forever. But over your brethren, the children of Yasharallah, shall you not rule one another with rigor. So what it says pertaining to these heathens, they are going to be our possessions forever. forever. You see that? This is what these people created for, man. This is when we go receive our inheritance. See? But this is what our people don't understand. You don't know what Yahweh Shema Shah got in store for you. But you two run around, you too petty, and you too fucking weak, and you too docile, and you too damn simple. Run around here with that weak ass spirit, but this weak ass spirit. But let's get into it though. Let's get into it because I done spent enough time into that. Right? But let's go into this. Let's go grab Job. Joel 2:27. Because individuals like to say, oh no, that was just saying that he's the only God on the earth. Shut up. Let's read it. Joel 2:27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Yasharallah, and that I am the Lord Yahweh, your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. What did he say? He said, I'm your God. I'm only your God. None else. See? So those other scriptures that I just read, it was just an opener. It was just a precursor of this here. See? But what he says, I am the Lord your God and none else. I'm your God and none else. So you can't be joining hands with people and say, yes, no, he's the God of us all, simple asses. No, he's your God, you simple niggas. And if you ask me, I'm kind of selfish. I ain't sharing my power. I ain't sharing Yahweh Shema Shah with nobody other than our people. And you better be hopes like you the elect. Because I ain't even sharing it with 2/3. What I look like sharing it with 2/3? You an unbeliever. How can I even do that anyway? See? How can two be joined together except to be agreed? The answer is no. See? He said, what, in Ephesians 5, he says, well, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. How would I even deal with that with 2/3 of my people anyway? I wouldn't. So I ain't sharing Yahweh Shema Shah with nobody other than the elect of Yahweh Shema Shah. And that's it. See, but let's move on, though. Let's move on. Let's get another one. Let's go here. 2 Samuel, chapter 7, and verse 23. Right? For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here, there, and here a little, and there a little, right? Through thy precepts I get understanding, Psalms 119, right? And 105. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way, right? And what we gonna do? 2 Samuel 7:23. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Yasharallah, whom Yahweh went to redeem for a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible, for thy land before thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt. And who was that coming out of Egypt? It's talking about us, the Israelites that was redeemed from the iron furnace, from the place of their captivity. See? Not that he was saving some damn Hamites out of there. No, he was saving his people, the Israelites, from the Hamites that was oppressing his people. For thy land before thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt, from the nations and their gods. Wait a minute. So he says from the nations and their gods. So those particular nations were dealing with the Hamites when he delivered us out of there. He said their gods. He didn't say that he was the God of the Hamites. See, matter of fact, let's go grab this real quick. It said for the nations and their gods. Let's see what this damn Hamite said. Let's see. Let's grab this. And 25. Let's go down to it. Let's see what this Hamite said. But did he call the Most High his God? Let's find out. Let's start at 22. Exodus 8:22. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarm of flies shall be there. To the end, Slakia, to the end thou mayest know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth, and I will put a division between my people and thy people. What are you going to do? The division, meaning he's separating. What he got in store for them is for them. And what he got in store for us is for us. See? And what? Tomorrow shall this sign be. Verse 24. And the Lord Yahweh did so. And there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And you know what come with flies? Maggots and all the kind of shit. Damn. And it says what? And I'm talking about the abundance of it, not just a little pile. You know, like when we was at little kids and we used to be at school looking at the garbage and you would see the big ass garbage can, the big white elephant garbage can at school when you was little kids and you see the little maggots crawling out the bottom of it. No, not like that. They had maggots and all kind of shit was infested in their shit. See, and it says what? Verse 25. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, go ye sacrifice to your God in the land. What did he say right there? He said, okay, go and sacrifice to your God. He said, go and sacrifice to your God. He didn't say Yahweh Basham Yahushua is his power. See, but you Jasons walking around right now, you think that the Most High is all people's God. Man, you stupid as hell. And this is why we cut you jakes up in these scriptures, you motherfuckers that's in the pagan buildings, because y'all unbelievers. Y'all don't believe thus said Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Let's read it again. And it says what? Verse 27. We will go 3 days journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord Yahweh our power as he commanded us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go that ye may sacrifice to the Lord Yahweh your God. Wait a minute. You see one saying when we saying Yahweh our God and he's saying your God. Do you see that? In the wilderness, only ye shall not go very far away and treat for me. So you see what he says right there. So I ain't even got to go read no more on that. We'll wrap it up with that one. But let's go back. Get back and let's get some more. Matter of fact, let's go read that 2 Samuel again. 7:23, is it? 2 Samuel 7:23 before we move on. It says, what? And one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Yasharallah, whom Yahweh went to redeem for a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land before thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt, from the nations and their gods. So you see that. So you see these heathens worship idols, man. The Most High not dealing with them, and he is not their power. He is the power of the Yasharallah, man. That's it. He's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Israelites. Period. Let's get some more. Let's go to Deuteronomy 4 and verse 7. And if I'm not mistaken, if I can remember, this was up in that AI shit. And what it says, for what nation is there so great, who had Yahweh so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahweh, our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? You see that? But the point was already made at 7. You see? Let's go down. Right? Let's go down to 34. No, let me see. Let's start at 32. It says, for ask now of the days that were past, which were before thee, since the day that Yahweh created man upon the earth. Meaning what? You know when he created man. Ask upon the earth. Is it any nation, any people can say that the Most High was their God? No. Which were before thee since the days that Yahweh created man upon the earth, and asked from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there had been any such thing as this great thing is, or had been heard alike like it. Meaning, did any other nation say that, oh yeah, God came down to us and he spoke to us out of the midst of the burning fire. He spoke unto us in Mount Sinai, or any other mountain that we was at. Can they say that? No, they can't. They cannot say it. The people that he chose, out of all the people that he created, the people that he chose, he came unto them. He revealed himself to them through Yahweh Basham Yahushua. And he also revealed himself to us through the prophets and through Moses and so on and so forth. Verse 33. Did ever people hear the voice of Yahweh speaking out of the midst of the fire, as thou hast heard and lived? The answer is no. Or had Yahweh essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation when he redeemed us out of Egypt, by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that Yahweh your God did for you in Egypt by your eyes? The answer is no. Can't no other nation say that. You see? So you Jace is simple as hell, man. You're simple as hell. Let's get another one where the heathen said they acknowledge. Let's go here. Joshua 2 and 11. Right? Now let's go down straight to it. Right? Because I don't want to read all the context because that's going to suck up more time. And it says, we'll start at 10. Joshua 2 and 10. For we have heard how, and this was it's a heathen broad, meaning the Hamite descendant of a Canaanite, and it says what? For we have heard how the Lord Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. Verse 11. And as soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord Yahweh, your God, he is power of heaven and above and in the earth beneath. Meaning what she did. She ain't telling you like right here what. We acknowledge it. This is Yahweh your God. But we acknowledge him as the only power in the earth. See, she just acknowledging Yahweh that he is the almighty power. But she said what? This is your God. See? But you Jace walking around the earth right now just so discontinued from your identity and your heritage. You run around talking about the most highest God of everybody. You don't get it. You don't get it. That's why he said, only you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I'm going to punish you for all your iniquities. You don't get it. You some stupid motherfuckers, man. And we tired of y'all. We be glad, hey, man, hasten the day y'all about Shem Yahshua. Hasten it. Because we tired of y'all and y'all ignorance. You don't want to listen. You don't want to take heed. But I guarantee you when that goddamn death month angel come knocking on your goddamn door, your ass gonna want to listen in, but it's gonna be far too motherfucking late. Right? But let's grab one more. You know, matter of fact, let's get this one. Man, let me just grab it. Psalms 33. Is it around there? Let me see. Psalms 33, 12. Matter of fact, let's start at 11. The counsel of Yahweh standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is Yahweh, and the people whom he had chosen for his own inheritance. Who are the people whose God is Yahweh? The Israelites. Who are the people that he chose for his own inheritance? It's the Israelites. Not know all, he chose all people. We created us too. And, well, I already told you why your ass was created. You was created for the uses of his people. And our punishment, what they was able to do. It was reversed. We were serving these motherfuckers. That's why he said in second entrance, but we thy people has been given into the hand of these old fucking heathens. That's nothing. That's for our punishment. When we come out of our punishment, everything has been put right side back up. They going back in their natural position that he created them for as the heathens to serve his people, and we're going back into as being the rulers of this motherfucking planet. And if you got a problem with it, you get put to death. And you're going to be reincarnated back into the thing, and you're going to wind up serving us any damn way. See? And that's what it is. See, a lot of these people, they don't care. They want you to serve them, but when it comes to these people serving us, that's where the problem come in at. It ain't no problem for them to enslave you, but when it come time for you to enslave them forever, that's a problem. That's a problem. They can step on and walk on you and spit on you and fuck over you, but when it comes time for them to reap what they sowed, that's a problem. You see? But let's get this though. Let's read this again. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord Yahweh. And the what? And the people whom he had chosen, it ain't no and, it's the same people. Whom he has chosen for his own inheritance. And who did the Most High chose for his own inheritance? I already read it in Deuteronomy 32. Let's grab it. For his own inheritance. Deuteronomy 32. Right? And verse 8. Think around 9. Yep. And it says what? When the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Yashar'Allah. Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. You see it. You see it and you heard it. See? So these people do. And don't try to go take your silly asses. Matter of fact, let's grab one more. Leviticus 18. But don't go try to take your silly asses to, no, but see, it said in Romans 3 and 29 that it said is he not of the God of the Gentiles? Oh, yes, also of the Gentiles. It's talking about Israelites, you fucking idiots. Because I just read you. Did the Gentiles say that the Most High was their power? No, they never did. So evidently that's not talking about heathens. That's talking about Israelites that was in the Gentile mindset, that was in the lands of those heathens in Rome, in Galatia, in Ephesians, Colossians, Philippians, Thessalonians, and Corinthians, and so on and so forth. See? That was doing what? Worshiping idols and just through. That's talking about them. Ain't talking about no damn heathens, you idiots. Leviticus 18 and 30. And it reads, let's go down to it. Let's start at 29. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even that soul that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep my ordinances, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh, your God. You see that? See? And don't try to go here and think y'all got one up on us, because we will cut your ass up in this. 29. Romans 3 and 29. Let's grab it. And it says what? Is he the God of the Jews only? All 12 tribes are not Jews. The only Judites is those of the southern kingdom. Actually, when you think of it, it's just of the tribe of Judah. But because Benjamin and Levi dwelt in the land of Judah, they was also considered as Judites, Judeans, rather than Jews. Judeans. See? So, is he the God of the Judeans only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, also of the Gentiles. Don't get too far ahead of yourself thinking that, oh, see, he said he's the God of the Gentiles. It's talking about Israelites, you idiots. And then that will be a whole nother lesson that I will have to go into. Matter of fact, let me grab this one too before I end it off. Because I didn't went long-winded. But let's grab this. Ephesians 2 and 19. And don't try to come up on brothers and try to read this, because you go get your head chopped off with this one too. These scriptures are like a sharp sword that's going to cut through your body, your bone, and your fucking marrow. Ephesians 2 and 19. Now therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners. Who is this talking about? Israelites. That was what? Born in foreign lands. But fellow citizens with the saints. And who was the saints? Talking about those of our people that was in the land, but it's dealing with the church of Yahweh Shem Shah, the elect. It says what? We're fellow with the saints and of the household of Yahweh. Don't try it. Don't fucking try it. Let's go to 3. 3 and verse 6. And it reads. And it says, it started at verse 5. Which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now revealed unto his holy apostles and prophets by the Spirit. And who was those sons of men that it was referring to at that time? Talking about Israelites. When we was in those other lands, worshiping idols just through. That's why we was being referred to as the sons of men here. Because why? You was living like the heathens. It's talking about you. It says what? That the Gentiles shall be fellow heirs, and of the same body, and partakers of his promise in Mashiach by the gospel. And that's talking about Israelites, motherfucker. Because who was those promises to? Ain't nobody but to the Israelites. Same way when Paul was giving this, saying this in Romans 9 and verse 4. Who was that promise to? And what it says? For I could start at 3. For I could wish myself for a curse for Mashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption. That adoption is the what? The reconciliation of us being brought back to Yahweh through Yahushua. And the glory of the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises is to who? The Israelites. So don't try it, you damn devils. And I'm going to end it off there giving all honor and praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Shalom, La Bakarim Shal Yashala. Shalom.